Hello, hello, everybody. Josh Greason coming to you live tonight, Thursday, June 21st, 2018, summer solstice day, the longest day of the year. Talking about naked charting. All right, we'll get to that in a second. But if you haven't joined me for these videos, you're like, what in the heck is Josh doing with his shirt off? I'm just being silly. Bear with me. So I'm doing a series of videos, one video per day for 30 days, talking about my Forex trading life. How does Forex trading fit in with my regular everyday life? Full-time job, wife and kids, other commitments, hobbies, pursuits, goals, dreams, things going on, busy, just like you. So how does Forex trading fit in with it? What does it look like? What is the Forex? What is Forex trading? How do you do it? How do you learn to do it? How did you learn, Josh? How can I learn, Josh? How much money can you make? What's my long-term goal financially in doing this? How long does it take? How much time does it take to do this trading stuff if I'm going to do it? What are the tools that you use, Josh? What are the strategies that you use, Josh? Who's training you and taking you from knowing absolutely nothing about Forex 8 months ago to where you are now and into eventual, consistently successful, profitable Forex trading? So that's what this series of videos is, all the nitty-gritty stuff, right? We started with a lot of foundational stuff, some basic terminology. What is the Forex? What is a pip? What is a lot size? Character stuff, consistency and patience and all that kind of fun, personal development stuff that we get out of trading besides just the money-making aspect that we think we're going into trading for. So all that stuff. So today, what's today's topic? Naked. Let me move my picture up here. It's in the way. All right, there we go. I like to see all the little hearts. Naked Forex trading. I'm just being silly. So hope you can have fun with me with Forex trading. Just being silly. I'm not naked. Relax. I just got my shirt off. I'm just being a little silly with my tattoos. Naked Forex trading. So what is naked Forex trading? On some other videos we've done getting familiar with a Forex chart. What do the candles mean? We've done indicators. We went through moving average, RSI, Fibonacci, MACD, stochastics, some other different ones I probably went through, but those are the basic ones. We went through all those indicators, which are extra stuff you can put on the charts that kind of runs in there and kind of helps you discern what the market is doing. Excuse me. Because that's what we want to do. We want to understand what is the market doing. Our job is not to predict, to prognosticate, to fortune tell. We are not, using our clairvoyant skills, even though we may have them. We're not using them for Forex trading, okay? It tends to not work out well. But what we can do is decipher what is the market doing now and how can I cooperate with that, go with the flow of it, and use it to my benefit and profit. That's what Forex trading is about, all right? Not predicting and being wrong and just gambling and losing money. This is not Las Vegas, okay? You're not predicting what dice you're going to roll. You're not predicting what number is going to come up on the roulette wheel, okay? This is what is the market doing? How can I cooperate and profit? That's it. So those indicators are helpful. They're great, and the tools that we have are amazing, okay? We have I've been over a video, harmonic scanner, harmonic patterns, high probability predictions, 89% accurate of what the market's going to do next. This tool, this software, just runs, it's awesome, okay? It's a great tool. Web Analyzer finds high probability trades all day long, spits them out at you. You apply a strategy, filter it down, kind of narrow it down. You can't take all those trades. There's too many trades. So you find the best ones, you take those. The tools are awesome. Our SwipeTrades team is awesome. They send you they're experienced traders. They send them right to your phone. They send you the numbers. You copy and paste a couple numbers. You get in the trades that they analyzed, and you make the money. Hello. That's a pretty good deal. So if that's all you want to do, that's perfect. Take advantage of all the free stuff and the awesome, software tool. I mean, hello. Computers are here for our benefit. They multiply the effects and the benefits of our knowledge and our ability to, be profitable. And we can take advantage of other people's efforts and skills by SwipeTrades and so on. I'm not downing that at all. If that's what you want to do mostly, your current life, and you want to come in and do the easy stuff and try to make money with just that, that's awesome. My personal goal, and what I would encourage the goal of most people to do, is to really learn this stuff, okay? Take the academy. Yeah, we all got to take that just to do the basic stuff. Get the basic book learning in so you understand what's going on a chart. And these little short videos I'm doing aren't really going to do it. So take the education piece, use the tools, take advantage of it. But what we want to do is master this skill of reading charts and trading should all these things disappear and go away. No more harmonic scanner, no more web analyzer, no more SwipeTrades, no more iMarketsLive. What are you going to do? Now you got to go back to your old crappy job that you hated and you live in paycheck to paycheck and from one big bill to the next and get past each hump for the rest of your life? No, no thanks. No thanks. So what we want to do is master the skill of financial trading, reading financial charts, understanding what's going on, going with the flow and being profitable. Okay, so that if all those things were to go away, we can still have this skill set, walk away with it, make money with it, multiply with it, compound our profits for the rest of our lives with it, and just have the skill under our belt. So that's the goal. Naked charting. Naked charting is a part of that, right? I mean, there are indicators, and I'll actually show you a couple of indicators during the course of this naked charting thing. Where am I going? I forgot what I was even doing. All right, show you a chart. So this is kind of a random chart, New Zealand dollar versus Japanese yen, and we're on a 5-minute scale. Now, how many of you, as a newbie especially, would look at this chart and go, you know, I don't know what's going on here. It's going down, it's going up, it's shim-shamming around, it's going down, it's going up, shim-shamming around, it's going down. Up and down, up and down, up and down is down. Is that, I mean, it looks random, unpredictable, risky. Isn't this Forex stuff risky? You don't know what the market's going to do. You know, all that kind of stuff, right? It looks random as heck. But what I'm here to tell you with Naked Forex, the one thing I want you to walk away with is it's not as random as it looks. And there actually are patterns there and things you can do to recognize, you know, important areas on the chart for that particular pair. And what it's doing when it gets to those areas, that kind of stuff. So first of all, on a 5-minute chart, we're looking on a really small scale. Okay, it's just moving a couple pips at a time. It's just too small to really get the idea of what's going on. It's like trying to understand, you know, I'm trying to think of a good example. Trying to understand what's going on a vehicle race, or no, like the Tour de France, right? On a bike race, like what's going on in the race overall when you're standing on a street corner and watching people zoom by you. Like, okay, you know, you see a few people go by, but really on a grand scale, where are we? How much longer is left in the race? Who's way out there in front? Who's in behind? Who's moving faster? You know, if you get an elevated view and a grander scale, you can get a better picture of what's going on. So that's kind of like what we're doing here. Starting with the biggest time frame, monthly. I lost my chart. All right. Okay, so we see, interesting. All right. That's the whole doggone history of New Zealand JPY. From today all the way back in time to, I can't see it, March of 1997, because now we're on a huge scale. Each candle, that's each red line, if you miss them like a candle, you don't know what a candle is. Each line represents 1 month of time. So every 12 candles is a year. All the way back here to 97, okay? So monthly scale, what's going on? It's going up, got an impulse down, it's kind of correcting. It looks like it's, you know, could be curving downward potentially. We don't know yet. That's too big, okay? Let's look on a little smaller scale, the weekly scale. So now each candle on here represents 1 week instead of 1 month. So it's shrinking down a little bit. So we have some downward movement here, a nice impulse down kind of there. Retracement, and then we have a nice little move up, and we have some zigzaggy consolidation here, perhaps forming a wedge or a descending channel, which you don't know what those terms mean. It's fine. It's just you learn to recognize patterns and what they tend to mean could come next. So, but looking at this down move, right? One of the things we like to look at is Fibonacci's. Oh, I have my indicator on here. I meant to delete that, even though I probably will throw it on later anyways. Did I delete that, or did I delete that? Indicators, done, delete, close. Okay, now we're looking at our chart. All right, so we have a nice big down move. I'm going to show you a Fibonacci tool. We've seen it on another video, but look at this. So we had a nice big down move from the high to the low. And what is Fibonacci? Magical math that works its way into all of creation, you know what I'm saying? It goes into nature. It goes into our art, our photography. We find it attractive as people when we see things that have this mathematical formula, this golden ratio, we call it. You've probably heard that term in art and even in the dimensions of the human face. The faces that we find most attractive most perfectly line up to the golden ratio of Fibonacci. It's a mathematical, weird formula magic that finds its way mysteriously through all of creation. So it even finds its way onto the Forex charts. So again, not as random as it seems. There are patterns here. Look, it goes down, comes up. Look at it. Look how everything stops on that line like a dime. It stops on a dime right there, 61.8 Fibo line. You have 50, 38.2, and 23.6, the other key points. It's not always a 61.8, but in this case it is. Okay, look at that. Interesting. Now it's going down. Let's take that off there so we don't confuse ourselves later. And we'll move down the scale, down to D1, down to the daily chart where each candle now represents a day. Oh, look at, I already see an interesting pattern developing there. You see how there's kind of a straight line across those peaks? So let's just draw a straight line there. Boom. Okay, interesting. That's something to pay attention to potentially. We also have kind of a downward one going there. Let me back off the scale a little bit. And we can draw one there too if we want to. Not so much with the here, but right around here, we have an interesting kind of pattern developing there. Okay, maybe a wedge, descending channel. Okay, so let me zoom back in. All right, so now we're on the, we did that Fibo on the weekly before. Now we could do one on the daily chart here, where we are now. We could do a Fibo right here. Where we go from the high to the low, and look at this magic. It goes right up to the 61.8, and this trend line stops on a dime and goes down. Interesting, isn't it? See the 61.8, just like before on the bigger scale. Now we're on this little scale, and on the daily, which is not exactly a little scale. Okay, so I'm going to take that off there because we're going to continue moving down the time frames. H4. I need to turn my auto scrolling on. Jeez Louise. All right, so you don't have to keep watching me scroll. Okay. Excuse me with the coughing, guys. I've had this cough for like the whole time I've been doing these videos. So, okay. On a 4-hour chart, that one's not super interesting. All I would get out of this is we're on a pretty good downtrend. And we're between these two, that red line and that red line has been bouncing back and forth. So we're probably headed down to that trend line, potentially. So let's look on the H1 scale. I see a nice impulse move here fairly recently on the 1-hour scale. So let's put a Fibo on that guy. What? Oh, I dropped it too high, didn't I? There's the actual impulse start right there. And look at this Fibo magic. Goes down on an impulse move. It retraces. And where did it stop, guys? What yellow line is this? 61.8. Even you guys that don't know anything about Fibonacci's and Forex trading are going to remember, wow, there's something important about 61.8 on the Fibonacci. That is the golden ratio. Why does it do this? Are we subconsciously guided by this as institutional traders and banks trade, and they're somehow magically guided by this formula? I don't know. Nobody knows. But you have to admit that there's a pattern emerging here, do you not? So, okay, we're down on an hourly scale. I see that pattern there. Did I not mark that earlier? I thought I marked that on the bigger scale. Let me try to attach it there so it stays attached. Okay, we were down on the hourly scale. But I also see another kind of pattern developing there, which is interesting. Another trend line from here, right through all the tops of those things. Possibly. I don't know if it's gone over it or under it. Maybe if we put it more, kind of flatten it out some. I don't know, I'm just looking. I'm just judging by where that flatness is, where we can get the most contacts. Maybe right there. Yeah, look at that. Look how everything's bouncing off of that trend line. Isn't that interesting? We had that nice Fibonacci here, right to the 61.8, and where it converges with this trend line, bounces down. Goes up, hits this trend line. Why does it bounce down when it hits that trend line? There's not a brick wall in the financial world that prevents price from going higher than that. Who knows? But it's interesting, isn't it? And it is a pattern that we can learn to recognize. Let's go down the 15-minute scale. Ooh, that thing is doing something interesting now, isn't it? So we went down here. We had, we can draw some key areas of support. That was our low so far. We have a lot of interesting activity across this line here. We could draw another line of support here. We have another area here. Actually, it's more like there. Price is going down. Look at that. All right, I did this last video on another channel, and we were right at this key potential area of decision. Actually, though, now that I see this, it could still potentially be inside. But so what we're watching for now that we've hit this trend line that's been coming down from like probably a couple months ago, and we have the support line down here, and that Fibo lined up, right? There's interesting activity here. So since we're not predictors of the market, we're goer with the flowers of the market, we would have waited at this point to see what is it doing. Is it going to continue through? Is it going to plow through that trend line? Because again, there's not a brick wall there. Is it going to go up and then retrace and bounce off of it and go up for a buy trade? Or was it going to bounce downward immediately and become a sell trade? Now, this is actually looking pretty interesting. It's becoming sort of an impulsive move there, is it not? Interesting. Potentially. You know, we'll see. This could also just be a small scale trend line from here, and we haven't actually broken the trend yet. Look at that. So there's a couple different ways. So that's why you don't jump impulsively into trades, realizing that this is not a precise line. It's just a general flow of energy on the market where we're going to start watching for what might happen here. And if it does an impulse move and it does a little correction, then we would get in. We wouldn't just jump in and try to predict. Okay, so that's kind of a little something about naked charting. I mean, I probably could have done a lot more support and resistance and various things like that. We could do zone to zone trading, but I'm just kind of like thought I'd get on here and wing it. I didn't know it was going to be exactly on this chart. Kind of got on here and just said, hey, let's do this chart. It's got some good movement, and let's see what we can find. So that's what we do. And then we get on here, and we also have a descending channel forming here, which could be a good sign of a buy. So that's another pattern recognition. Naked Forex charting. And so one other thing we can look at, since, you know, I'm not totally opposed to indicators. Let's take the Fibo off there. Okay. And let's put the RSI on there. The relative strength index, which tells us how many people are buying versus how many people are selling. We looked at this the other night. Maybe on a smaller scale, right? This thing's bouncing right off this trend line. What's going on here? Is it going to go through, bounce off there, retest it, and then go up? Or is it just going to bounce now and do an impulsive move down like we want it to do? So RSI here says actually it's pretty high. It's getting close to that key area of 70, which is right between these two lines. I have it kind of marked funny right now. Normally I just have the line on 70 and that's it. So it's one to watch. So I would just sit here and watch and try to find out, do we get a nice big impulsive candle up? And then would I jump in then? No, because what is it going to do? It's going to turn around for a retracement. Because of that whole, oh, too many people bought, we better start selling. Too many people sold, we better start buying. Too many people bought, we better start selling. That we talked about the other night with relative strength index and buying and selling and the teeter-totter of traders and how they all copy each other and kind of do what all the other traders are doing as the chart is moving. So we would watch and see what happens here, right? RSI is getting pretty high. It could be a sign of a sell. It's also getting to this trend line, which could be a sign of a sell. We also have a lot of activity across this line, you see? So we could actually put a line of potential interesting area across here, right? So we have that line converging with this long-term trend line here, and we have RSI getting pretty high. So there's potential for something to happen around here. So what I would do is just put a little shape here so I can pay attention. Hey, this is kind of an area to watch. I'm going to watch for an impulse move up or a bounce and an impulse move down. And then I'm going to decide, okay, I'm going to get into sell or I'm going to get into buy and call it a day. All right, so that's one way of naked charting. Forgive me if it wasn't perfect. Just kind of winging it on the charts. But what I wanted you to get out of this video, because you're probably going, what the heck are all these lines? I don't get that. I could never do that. First of all, I didn't know anything about Forex trading 8-9 months ago. Getting the gist of it. We also have all the awesome tools that make it super easy. Okay, copy and paste trading, harmonic scanner, my favorite tool, the web analyzer that spits out high probability trade entries all day long. We have a lot of easy stuff, but I do want to learn this skill of naked Forex charting, which means, you know, nothing on there, no indicators, no tools, no software, no magic. Just get on there and see the patterns, support and resistance, trend lines, and stuff like that. So I did show you RSI and what else did I show you? Fibonacci tool and things like that, because there's some interesting pattern magic. But the point of all of this being, the charts are not random. You can learn to understand the patterns that occur on the charts and how to work with those patterns, to go with the flow of the market, with the big traders, you know, being the ones that decide really what is going to happen on the market. Governments and huge international banks, they drop big trades and stuff happens. Financial news shift things. You can learn to recognize what is going on the chart right now. How can I cooperate with what it's doing? I can't control it. I can't predict it, but I can recognize what it's doing and cooperate with it, go with the flow, and make cash money. That's the goal, and I can learn this skill, take it with me long term. So come hell or high water, harmonic scanner goes away, web analyzer goes away, SwipeTrades goes away, iMarketsLive goes away. I can read a financial chart and learn to recognize the patterns and go with the flow of what the market's doing and make money, multiply money, compound my interest, compound my profits for the rest of my life, and reach financial freedom and stay there. That's the goal. I can't promise you that you're going to do that, but that's my intention. That's my goal, and that's where I'm headed. So hope you'll head there with me. We've done 21 videos so far now today. Today was video 21 of 30. 9 more to go. I am headed someplace with this. So as you can imagine, we've laid all these building blocks and foundational stuff. We are headed somewhere. I'm going to give you all this info you want to know toward the end of this series, but it's good to get all this foundational stuff to really see how hard is this. Okay, this is probably not the one that makes it look easy, but this is the one, you know, charting that shows you that the market is not as random as it seems, and therefore it's not as risky as some would lead you to believe. Would it be to the benefit of the big banks if they can scare everyone away from the Forex so that they can continue taking your money that you place in their bank account, trade it on their own behalf, make themselves rich, and give you a 1% interest in return for the favor of borrowing your money? That would be to their benefit for them to have you believe that the Forex is risky, it's scary, it's unpredictable, and stay away, right? That would benefit them if they can keep you away. But it will benefit you if you can recognize that there are patterns, there is order, there is structure, there is repetition of things that you can learn to recognize, cooperate with, and make money by doing. So that was the message I wanted to get across to you with all this naked charting, not just a bunch of lines and stuff, okay? So I hope you get that message, and I hope you join me for the remaining 9 videos. Thanks for taking the time with me. I know I went a little long on this one, just kind of feeling my way through a chart. Thanks for bearing with me. Have a great night. We'll join you tomorrow. Well, I hope you join me tomorrow, all right? We'll see you around. Have a good night.